Okay, Dale back here again. So with that said on the earlier video, to use your mind to transcend the world is first of all to look at it and realize that you really don't know how to do the world. Who would know how to do the world? I mean, if it's like telling a lie and trying to figure out how you can make the lie the truth. How you can lie about the lie so that you eventually can get it to be the truth. It just gets more and more complex, and more and more frustrating, and more not what you think your intention is. And it leads, of course, what it always leads to is compromise, some sort of compromise where you're not looking for the truth. You're looking for some way to get out of the situation. All right, so when you use your mind versus like waiting, say waiting to discover, first of all, let me just tell you how the mind works as far as solving problems and dealing with life. There's like, I guess I was calling it about 3 ways. You could probably make more if you break them down, but actually when I look at 3 ways, it's actually just 2 ways that the mind works, and we use the mind use in our life. And the first one is when situations come up and we have an intention that, say we don't like it and we want to change it for some reason. We want something better. All right, better. All right. This is how I do it if I want something better. First of all, I recognize that what I'm looking at, I don't know what it means. It started with the Byron Katie work I was doing, kind of like hers, but this is basically a creative process, which is basically asking yourself, do I know that what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking, the meaning of this, does it mean what I think it means? And as you do that more and more, deeper and deeper inquiry, you keep coming to the place where you say, am I certain that it means what I think it means? You come to a place where you realize, no, you're not certain of that. I mean, you may act on it, maybe you think it's 99% certain, but there's a part that isn't certain. And you start to recognize that every thought, you really don't, if you question it, and every intention, you don't have, you can't be certain that it's true, that's really what you want to do, and that will give you, you're not even sure what you want, let alone what you're going, what it'll look like when you get it. And that's true. What you want as a free, light of the world kind of person is so large. But in this world, most people have learned to just really dumb that down and to deny that and to shade that, just so that they could get the things that actually make them feel like this prison of a world. They have a television set, or they can go on vacations from the prison and stuff like that. They're still in a prison, but they're just trying to make it a better prison. And then, gradually it's become a place where some philosophers and stuff like that say, well, that's the way it is. Well, it's not the way it is. It's the way it is when we think it's that way. So we start by questioning our thinking, and about what's going on. As you start doing that, that starts to become an affirmation. Like everything you're thinking or your intentions, you're automatically saying, I really don't know that this means what I think it means. That doesn't mean you're necessarily going to stop, because it's not bad to act on things that you don't know what it means, especially if you stay awake and you're willing to check it out. You get really valuable insight and information from what you're doing, no matter whether it's the intention is true or not. But anyway, the way that works on the world is like this. It works primarily, I'm going to say, in relationships. And relationships is a good place to start, because the world is a world of relationships. That's, it's all like relationships with other people, relationships with ideas, relationships with manifestations, relationships with ideas that have been manifested into some sort of an experience or flow. It's a world of relationships. How do we relate to what we're perceiving? A relationship with the flower. It doesn't have to be a relationship with a flower. You could just be with the flower, but it's like going to the beach and seeing the sunset, the beautiful sunset, and you have that moment where you are just one with the sunset. And then your mind starts going, oh, I probably got to get home. Or, oh, I wish she could see that, or he could see this right now. This is so beautiful. It kind of reminds me of that one in I saw in Puerto Rico that one time. Oh wow, that's so beautiful, and all kinds. It just triggers the use of the mind, and then we're not one with it. We're figuring out how to relate to the sunset. We're saying, okay, well, I'll spend about 5 minutes and watch it go down, and that will be good for my soul. Good for my soul. And then as time goes by, you might even catch yourself saying, well, almost there. It's like a countdown or something like that. As well as you could be some presence with it. Okay, and then bravo, if you're present with it, that's pretty cool. So it's all about relationships. Yeah, we're relating, and I think when I talk about how to use the mind, I'm gonna do another video after this. I'm gonna use it through a relationship with a person that is close to you, because I think that's the most revealing is when you're intimate with someone close to you, and how do you relate with them.